Hey everyone, welcome to Halo Drawings! Woohoo! Halo Drawings! Halo Infinite is coming out next year, and we thought we could draw some cool new characters for it. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm Jonathan. We're also joined by the illustrious Mitch and Stuart.
Yo.
What up?
Yeah, and we're just gonna jump right into it. So, Stuart's been busy with work recently, so he didn't really have time to draw anything. So, I drew two, and Stuart, you can just take one of mine, pretend it's yours, okay? I would, but then I'd have to say my drawings suck, am I right?
No, I just want to know ahead of time which one I'm doing.
Well, that's the surprise. I explained it, blah, 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 and Stuart made it. Tell me some more about it, Stuart. What inspired you to make this piece?
Yeah, 100%. I'll fake it till I make it, dude.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so, Mitch, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. So, I actually started by going to, I think it was Halo's website, and I just read up on all the different species they had, which learned a lot about how the world was created, or not the world, but how the races were created, how they fell in line with the Covenant, how they fought against, humanity and all that. Really interesting. And I wanted to do a race that existed before the fall of...
So when the Forerunners or the Precursors?
Yeah, the Forerunners. I'm pretty sure it's the Forerunners. The ones that basically were created at the same time as humans, but waged war against ancient humans and all that. So I wanted to create a race that existed back then, and they still exist now, but they aren't in any of the current conflicts because their world was ravaged by the Flood. And so they're waging a war against the Flood. And their last resort was to bomb the surface of their world while hiding in bunkers underneath the Earth. And so they don't really show up anytime soon. They're kind of just in their world, doing their own thing. But I kind of wanted to... Well, I took a lot of inspiration from elites. I love elites. They're one of my favorite alien races from Halo. And so I kind of went with, similar body structure, legs.
Yeah, I can see how you, curved the legs forward a little bit, and that's just like the elites.
Yeah. I wanted to go with something a bit more outside of my comfort zone, because normally I draw, pretty basic human figures, but, I don't usually draw, animalistic or alien that too often, so I wanted to have fun with this. I wrote a bunch of stuff up on the Halo species, because I was looking over the website and I just kind of copied what they had. So I went with the name, and then I also went with what the humans would have called them, and I would call them Lancers. And so basically these guys have a giant pole arm that has a, let's say, what's the word? Like a beam halberd at the end, like a giant blade. And then on top of that attachment is a little let's say pistol or a machine gun, and so they can shoot and slice at the same time.
So wait, the gun is built into their arm?
The gun is built into their weapon,
the
pole arm.
Okay, I was like, well, that's awesome.
Sorry, no, not into their arm. That would be really cool though.
Dreams ruined.
0 out of 10.
So sorry about that. I am so bad at cybernetics and all that stuff, so I avoid it as much as I can. And then in their opposite arm, they would wield pretty much almost like a tower shield, like an electric or a beam tower shield, so that they would use the shield to prop up their weapons and shoot. So kind of old-fashioned, almost like phalanx, but high tech. And so let's see, what else did I do? I said that they were about 7 feet to 8 feet. Average weight was 300 to 400 pounds. Lifespan's 480 years. They're large and lean, bipedal life forms, and they're saurians, so kind of lizardy. Their muscles have been adapted to suit their heavy gravity world, allowing them to surge forward and leap through the air. Most Shinjara have a combination of scales and scales, making them easy to distinguish between members. So originally I was going to do kind of a wolf-lizard hybrid, and I just did not want to do that at all. I wanted to go more lizard, more predator. Well, still wolves are predators, but more monitor lizard kind of thing. And so that's where I came up with the idea for this guy. and he was fun. I was gonna do a female with him, but I didn't want the video to lag on for like 10 minutes, 12 minutes. So I was like, I'll just do the male. And so, yeah, I had a lot of fun. Kind of went outside my comfort zone. Running out of things to say.
No, that's fine. It looks really cool. So would this character be an enemy of humanity, or would it help them? Because if they're like, oh, let's fight the Flood as well, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. What were you thinking?
So I think initially the Shinjara would want to be allies with humanity, but as common with humanity, they kind of lash out at the things they don't understand. To bring up a completely different universe for a second, for instance, for Mass Effect with the with the humans and the Turians, they had the first contact war because like two new species and just like not understanding each other, and they just fought, and that was their first. What was it? Wasn't that their first experience? So like it'd be interesting because I don't think the Shinjara have seen another alien species for possibly thousands of years. So I don't know. I don't even know if their culture would be so degraded living in underground bunkers that they would even be able to communicate. Be interesting to see, actually.
That is interesting. And I imagine when they're fighting, they just jump. They got mad hops. They just can jump behind you and just stab you or shoot you.
Yeah. I'd like to think that they had a very advanced and very like civil society, but the war with the Flood and then also being forced to go on into underground bunkers, I think they've become a lot more animalistic and have almost gone a bit more feral. So yeah, it could be an interesting dynamic.
One of my biggest questions is what made you go with more of a back fin than a tail? Because the tail's not that long. You started out really long like lizard, and then you went more to like a shark back fin.
I thought with like how long the legs were and how lanky they were, I thought they needed something that would be more of like a center of gravity kind of thing, or like center their balance. So I figured I'd go with like a thicker kind of wide set tail. I was trying to do something that would seem realistic, but granted, I've never seen an alien before, so you know.
Yeah, I was just curious because you made it really long. You made it all really drawn out kind of thing. And then all of a sudden you were like, nah, I want like dorsal.
Yeah, well, I mean, also I kind of like playing with the idea of like contrast. So like sometimes even if it's not even like fitting to the character, I might do something that's like completely different from the rest of it, just so there's like, you know, like different pieces on the art that you can be like, oh, look, there's something that's kind of unique. Oh, look, there's something else. Like, oh, wow, they really put attention into this. Something that I've been trying to incorporate a bit more in my art so that the characters come off as a bit more unique, and also that things come off as a bit more realistic and not as polished.
I really want to see those gun halberds in action. It really kind of reminded me of a British musket back from the Revolutionary War, but with lasers, and they can jump 15 feet in the air.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I got the inspiration, was just like, I love those kinds of weapons, like long weapons.
I wanted to ask one question about the lore, because I'm just a sucker for this sort of stuff. How would Master Chief meet this new race? Because I have yet to play Halo 5, so I don't really know where the story's gone, but how would humanity run into these lizard folk, would you think?
I would imagine that possibly, because I think that I think I played 5. I can't remember. I haven't played Halo in like forever, but I can't remember if they defeated the Flood or not, but I know that they're constantly warring against the Flood, and it's one of those things where like, unless you kill all of it, it never goes away technically. And so maybe like if Master Chief was like searching for different ways of fighting the Flood, or even like bringing back Cortana, for instance, and he needed high tech, maybe he'd go to like planets that were like ancient civilizations, and maybe he'd run into their planet and he'd possibly come across some of the feral ones, or ones that are like kind of barely hanging on to their humanity. Alienity? I don't know.
Alienity. Definitely alienity. Definitely.
I was just gonna say, I wonder if you could somehow stem it off of the elites, because you said it was like the elites. I don't ever really know what happened to them, but
I mean, it could always be. I know the Jackal they have like 3 or 4 different subspecies.
Oh, you're
on
talking
their
about like
planet.
the scavengers from Halo Reach, right?
Yeah.
This was like the more
yes.
civilized version of.
Yeah, like maybe they split up on different planets and evolved differently over
Yeah,
millions of years.
It could be, because they, like I said, I did kind of base them heavily, or their body type heavily on elites, but their face structure and hands are kind of different. Kind of. But yeah, it could be an interesting thing.
I love how me and Stuart did this last time. Like, that's a cool idea. Do this and this next time to make it better.
Oh, I'm not going to take any of your advice. Worry.
Oh, yeah, I just say yes and I ignore all of it, yes.
yeah, I'm just like, oh, okay, cool, that sounds great. Next time I go, like, yep, no.
So what do you guys want to watch first? Do you want to look at Gravemind Mobile or Ignat Solitari?
Which one's mine?
Which one do you want to be yours?
Which one do you can take your pick. I mean, I want to say
thank you
that
so
I did all
much.
the hard work.
Stuart, you kind of called me off guard after you said it's like, what?
Give Stuart the worst of the two.
Yeah. And we'll see how good I can make my way through it.
Well, that's tricky because I made them, so they're both great. But
Oh yeah, true.
Oh, you right.
All right, so I'll start with Gravemind Mobile, and Stuart, the Ignat character, it's pretty funny, pretty lore-based, so I'll be interested to see how you wrangle that one out.
Why you
Oh,
gotta
boy.
give me the one that's lore-based? Jeez.
Kind of like last time, I like to include the part where I'm suffering over how I want to make the body, so you're just going to see a lot of really weird proportions for a little bit before it starts taking shape. But Mitch, I noticed how you said, oh, I wanted to draw an alien so I can have a challenge. Now, for me, drawing people is a challenge, so I thought, okay, this is perfect for me. But what I wanted to do, we were just talking about the Flood, and I have been a Halo nerd since, I think, 8th grade in middle school, and I've read all the books, I've played almost all the games, and one of the parts of the series that fascinate me the most is the Flood. They're so creepy, they're such cool villains, and I was thinking, the Flood have not been in Halo 4, I don't think they were in Halo 5 either, so I think for Infinite, it'd be a really cool way, or a really cool time to reintroduce them to the series. And shoot, do you guys know anything about Master Chief's Noble Team, or like the Spartans besides Master Chief?
Yeah, because you read me a book about it one day.
That was a fun day. Yeah, in case you didn't know, Mitch, Master Chief, he's got 3 or 4 besties. They're like called Fred, Kelly, and Linda, I believe. And they're like his best friends. Well, not really friends, they're like all soldiers, but they're part of the same squad. So I was thinking it would be really, really cool if Master Chief's squad was infected by the Flood. And just think about it. When a Flood infects a regular person, they can jump like 30 feet in the air, they can crush steel. But what if a Spartan, a genetically modified super soldier, is infected by the Flood? That would be the most terrifying thing. And I was thinking, we haven't really seen the Gravemind since Halo 3. What if the Gravemind infected all 3 of Master Chief's soldier friends, and he was able to move around and, antagonize the Chief? And since all the Flood members retained the memories and combat experience of their host, Master Chief would just be fighting 3 of his best friends, 3 of the most elite soldiers in the world, but then they're also mutated and kind of misshapen. You guys remember necromorphs from Dead Space, how they're just got all these disproportionate limbs jutting out everywhere?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sort of like that. And as you see, I wanted to draw 3 of them, so I was doing 3 outlines. I got lazy, and it's like, I'm only going to do 1 at the end. So you can ignore this part, but I'm trying to get their proportions really weird, make them look kind of creepy, kind of infected. And you guys, I'm now open to questions.
Honestly, I'm just wondering why they all have scissor hands.
So I that was just their arms. I hadn't drawn hands yet. But you see right here, I realized, they don't really look Flood enough. So for this Spartan right here, I'm going to have it so their legs are completely destroyed, and it's just a miasma of Flood tentacles behind it, and it's just like crawling after Master Chief. And I think it would be really cool in a sort of cinematic way. The 3 of them, one of them is more infected than the others, and the other 2 sort of look like regular soldiers. So I think it would be really neat if Master Chief rounds a corner, he sees Fred, he's like, Fred, is that you? Slowly turns around, it looks like a Spartan, but one of the visor parts of the helmet is cracked, and you just see this bloodshot infected eye coming through, and then like, all these claws sprout out from his body and starts chasing him. I think that would be really cool, and usually in Halo, you're shooting aliens. There's not really that much of an emotional attachment. But if they're Master Chief's lifelong childhood friends, there might be a bit of hesitation before he squeezes the trigger, and the Gravemind might be able to take advantage of that. And now you get to see me attempt to draw armor, which I have never done before. So this should be really fun.
I wonder if it would make more of a dramatic impact if he killed one that didn't look like his friend at all, and then he had to kill ones that were his friends, like lost around the same time. And so then he figures out that the things he's been shooting were his friends.
That would be really cool. It'd probably be really sad.
You know, it would be fun shooting his friends while they're still human.
Plot twist.
No, because actually, Master Chief's who's infected, but it's just his fever dream.
He's been infected the entire time. Oh, what even deeper? Ever since Halo 1, he was infected when the Covenant attacked Reach, and the entire time he's just been in a lucid fever dream.
You're right.
No. He thinks he's saving the world, but he has not been doing that at all.
I hate stories where they just say, it was all a dream. Ooh. Well, screw you too.
It's like a waste of your time. It really is.
Yeah.
Jonathan,
and if they're... Yeah, go ahead.
Let's just say, why did you go for, like, Japanese armor on the bottom and then
I know, I realized that I didn't know how to draw pants. I'm literally taking a drawing course right now, and the clothes portion was not until this week, so like, crud, if only I'd done this a week later. And for any Halo fans out there, this is not at all what Halo armor actually looks like. This is my artistic interpretation, or, attempt to try to get something together. And now you can watch me struggle over helmet. Yes. But if you look over to his right arm, you see how it's basically just a giant tentacle or spike thing from the Flood. So I want to do it so he's mostly a human, but you can also see from his tattered armor as well that there are some parts of him that give away the infection. And I think it'd be cool from a distance, like, oh, it's just a Spartan. But as you get closer, it's more of a, holy crap, this thing's about to eat me. But yeah, this is pretty much it. But I called it Gravemind Mobile, like I said, because the Gravemind might be able to upload his consciousness specifically into these Spartans. Because a lot of the Flood are sort of just mindless automatons being controlled by the Gravemind. But the Gravemind might say, oh, for Master Chief, I'll deal with him personally. And then he's just... Your dead friends are being spoken to by, like, this demonic parasite. Like, Chief, remember when we used to frolic through the flower fields? Oh, I'm gonna eat you. Maybe not like that, but...
I don't know if Chief ever did that with any of his friends.
Remember when we used to shoot aliens together? I remember that.
Oh,
and there's,
no.
Yeah, and then the creepy women are like, yes, Chief, we remember too.
Oh, gosh.
And, yeah, that's where it gets a little bit weirder, so maybe we'll cut that part out, but... And here is Gravemind Mobile. Just imagine there's 3 of them.
Oh, I like that.
I like the colors. Really
Now,
like the colors.
Would you do it like obviously the original colors of all of his friends kind of thing?
No, they actually all have green armor, but I wanted to do something a bit different.
Can I ask what the background is?
Yeah, so on the background, I looked up Halo Flood background, and then I blurred it a bit. So I did not make that part. All right, now it's time for Stuart's art. Yay!
Woohoo, Stuart!
I have my notes written down for this character, so when you say it, I'll be like, okay, that's actually, you're spot on. How'd you know that? I'm interested to see how closely you get this. So let's head over to Ignat Solitari.
I'm gonna be so off, dude.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
Is it a good guy or a bad guy? Tell me that one first.
Isn't truth relative, Stuart? Aren't all the good guys someone else's bad guy?
I want to hang up.
Let me start by saying I'm a big fan of your art style, Stuart. I really resonate with it.
Yeah,
well, it appears I'm trying to draw someone sitting down.
I see you're like me, Stuart, where you just struggle with what you're drawing and you just show everyone how terrible you are. I feel a sense of camaraderie.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, like, right there, I was thinking about holding something and him sitting down. But then I scratch it, draw a squiggle, got a little mad.
Ooh, getting abstract, I feel ya.
And then went back to what appears to be a snake. I'm
so insulted.
I was thinking the same thing.
So rude. So rude.
I'm gonna be honest. I think I was trying to figure out how to draw somebody sitting down, and it just did not work out for me.
Clearly, I need to learn how to do this better. And then it looks like he went on a coffee break for a little bit.
It honestly looks like I just started drawing a bunch of circle squiggles. All right, so now we're back to like the snake, and as we all know, we all
Look like you got a better. Looks like you got a bit better this time.
Oh yeah. And then I decided to just point the feet upwards and put it back. But yeah, I mean, I really struggled with this design at first. I eventually went to a guy who's just sitting on the ground. He's probably got one knee up in the air. He's probably holding something in the other arm, like looking at it like a cherishing moment or something like that. As you tell right here, I struggled with the thighs, but he's got to be thick with 2 C's. There it is. So the gut really got me a little bit. Looks like I starved a little bit.
I was gonna say, is he anorexic?
Yeah. Oh no.
Okay. There we go.
All right, so there we go. I got the belly right eventually. I was trying to draw him with like one hand on the knee, one hand holding thing, and really I just couldn't figure out where to put that other arm. That pesky arm.
You were just really struggling, weren't you?
I was, honestly, and I finally decided that I'm just going to chop off half the arm so I don't have to. And that really seemed to work out for me. I even did it in purple. Never mind, I put it in front.
Hey, nice hat.
So what's this character's connection to Master Chief?
So this character, I believe, it looks human. It looks like Futurama human.
I was thinking monkey.
Am I eating something? I don't know. Oh, I got something. It's a watch. I knew it. Yes, I knew I was holding something. Oh, it changed. Fuzzy dice. What am I holding?
Fuzzy dice. I'm sorry, this isn't the 80s, Stuart. Please leave.
All right, Stuart, I might be able to help. I feel like what you were trying to draw here was some sort of humanoid character that might have been on the Ark during the events of the earlier Halo games. Is that right? Is that correct?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and so I was just trying to draw somebody who was just, I mean, as he's on the Ark and he's just sailing through the air. He looks like he's just pondering something. I really took a lot of design from the thinker on this one. He looks sort of mad. I think, is that his hair? Is he bald on the front? Or is that a tattoo? Is that a brain? Or a tattoo?
I don't know. You tell me.
Alright, let me see. He's got a shaved head. Honestly, he looks a bit like a warrior who's like, he's about to head into something like terrible, and he's just sort of pondering his last moment before going into this massive battle. He also looks like he has something that he's going to eat or hold and look at. I think he's going to hold something, though. I don't know. Jonathan, help me out here.
Okay. You did admirably, Stuart.
I can't keep going because you keep redrawing.
I did this. Thing. Oh, he redrew. He did this. Oh, he redrew it again. Yeah. So you did well, Stuart. You did admirably. So this character is called Ignat Solitari, which in Latin that roughly translates to lonely stranger. Ooh, how deep, right? But what I wanted to do with this character, I think art tends to come from limitation. I can't really draw aliens that well, so I was thinking, what's an interesting human that we could have in here somehow? Mitch, I don't know how familiar you are with Halo. Stuart, I know you're kind of familiar because I geeked to you about it for years and years. But when the Forerunners... when the Forerunners beat the humans back in the original Forerunner Human War, they de-evolved a lot of the humans into lemurs. And they put these humans in a storage facility while the Halo rings were being fired. And what I was thinking was, it'd be really cool if this character evolved with a group of humans that were in a different containment area from Master Chief and the rest of humanity. Like, maybe they were stuck inside the Ark, where they were raised up alongside many of the different alien creatures that the Forerunners were trying to archive. Because if you guys remember that, the Forerunners created sort of a museum where they could store the various species so they wouldn't be wiped out by the Halo rings. Do you guys remember or know about that?
Yeah. I don't remember that, but I appreciate it. I would do the same thing.
Dude, he's got a thick butt.
So what I was...
Why are you looking, Stuart?
Because that's apparently what I was drawing for about 5 minutes.
Stuart's a thirsty boy. I could not get the butt right. Yeah. But what this character, this Ignat character, he was in a kind of stasis containment field, and like one of those mini, I forget the Halo term, but there are like these mini pocket planets that you can go inside, and that's where he and his people were stored. And when Master Chief goes on the latest Halo ring in Halo Infinite, he accidentally releases Ignat. So Ignat is sent away from his family, and he can't get back home. So he views Chief as his enemy initially, because he's like, you're some sort of alien spaceman who ripped me from my home. But after a while, they have to work back together, because ultimately all that he wants to do is return back to his people, because they were about to go into some sort of giant clan war, and if he's not there, they're all gonna die. I wanted to do a human character that Chief could team up with because I really loved how in Halo 3, Chief teamed up with the Arbiter. I thought that was so cool. How there's just kind of like this whole buddy cop dynamic, and I kind of wanted to repeat that. And here is the actual finalized image.
It also made like the multiplayer so much better.
Yeah, and he's just kind of looking really sad at this little cube thing right here, because that's where all of his people are, in this kind of pocket planet. And I think it'd be really cool if he's got his family with him the entire time, but he can never actually interact with them. So it's kind of sad. You can kind of sympathize for the character a bit. I gotta say, guys, those are some pretty great drawings, but Stuart, yours might have just been the best of all.
Honestly, I spent a lot of time on it. I put my heart and soul into it. I really gave it my all. Mitch, yours was amazing, but better luck next time, dude. So
try out in a background next time. Lazy.
You're right. I should just steal a background from some website.
I don't like your tone.
I would like to point out, and I want to give me, myself, and JB credit on this. The leg in the background while he's sitting is darker than the one in the front.
That's what separates the boys from the men. Am I right?
That little bit of detail. I'm impressed, Jonathan, that you remembered to do that.
Thank you very much.
It's just a simple cell shade.
The best part is Mitch is sitting there. He's like, oh, this is so simple. I learned this in my first class. And me and Jonathan are like, yay, psych and religion minor.
Hooray. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for your help, guys. This was wonderful. Mitch, honestly, yours could probably be a character in that game. That'd be pretty cool. Or in Mass Effect. I feel like it could slot pretty nicely into either of those games.
If I could get any type of character or race or anything in a game, I'd be on cloud 9.
You heard that Mass Effect, there's a new one that just started development, I think a month or two ago.
Where are they? I need to find them.
Yeah, so, BioWare, if you're listening, we're selling. Well, Mitch is selling.
BioWare?
Mitch is selling.
Hello, I love Mass Effect, even Andromeda.
Okay, liar.
No, I actually love Andromeda.
Last note I want to make is I just noticed your suit of armor looks a lot like Iron Man.
Oops, yeah, I guess it kind of does. My bad.
So not only do you steal backgrounds,
but you steal character outfits too. When will his madness stop? I don't know, but we'll answer that question in the next episode. Ooh, good segue. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We hope you enjoyed. And obviously, just because we've got tablets and YouTube doesn't mean that we're the only ones that can't come up with cool ideas for races or characters. So if you think of any cool Halo comments or characters that you think are cool as well, leave them in the comments. If we think they're cool too, we'll shout them out. But if we think they're cooler than ours, we'll try to bury and ignore them, right?
Yes.
No one can be better than us. And also, we got a podcast. Listen to that. Link in the description. And until next time, ciao. And you guys can say bye too if you want.
See you guys.
I was going to say gotta catch them all, but
gotta catch them all.
Stop. This isn't Pokemon. That's the next one.
That's the next one. Spoilers.
Spoilers.